All right, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Stephen Benoit Jericho here today with our second episode of the brand new Hybrid Origins show. Now, today's guest, once he arrives, is one of the most notorious personalities in at least our neck of the woods, our territories, if you will. Now, this young man may be rather new in comparison to some of the other talent and some of the guests that we will be having on, shortly after him. But we had to make sure to get him here on our show now before he ends up getting himself kicked out of and banned through a lot of these other federations. Matthias, thank you for jumping in here. I hope you are looking forward to hearing what CFT has to say. Now, I myself am not anticipating to have to do a whole lot of talking today, but while I do, just to help cleanse the vocal cords, I'll be drinking from my Black Rifle coffee cup. And drinking my Black Rifle coffee. Now, they are not a sponsor for our program, but hey, maybe they should be. I know you're Durgos. I just saw Matthias up there. And who do we have on here with us? Also, Donnell Brown, the handler for Tyler Ace and Manny Ortiz. Oh, it's actually Manny himself. Now, folks, while we're waiting for CFT, hold on one second. Got a message here. This might be him. While we're waiting for CFT, folks, we've got Scott Toffick here, who our first episode was about. Make sure, like it says below, like, subscribe, and comment, so I can, in turn, go along with you guys and we can chat and I can see your questions through our Twitter feed here. Black Rifle Coffee, yes, they are, it's a veteran-owned company. Indeed, Durgos. That, I do indeed have a message from CFT. He says that he'll be on here momentarily, folks. He apologizes for the delay. We can't say too much negative about that, or he'll end up suing the program for whatever reason. So we've got Durgos on here. Now, Durgos, you have a match coming up taking on Sinister in episode 13. Not a tag match, but a one-on-one match. And both partners of each of you will be ringside. So that match was kind of written up because we saw each of you talking in, I believe, the 3-dub or... I believe it was a 3-dub chat. You guys were both mentioning how you were into tag competition and never really been in singles competition. You hadn't that much anyways, but both said that you could excel, so that match will take place. Sander Cool, I see that you're on here. Could you do me a favor and shoot CFT an invitation? Or rather, let me do that right quick. The screen may go out here for a second, folks, but I've got to get CFT. He is on standby. It's going to take All right. There we go. It looks like Mr. Clarence Fletcher Townsend should be here with us in just a second. Again, Nicole was patching him through. Mr. Townsend, are you here, sir?
I can hear you. Sorry I was a little bit late. I have a little bit of a limp right now because Sandra Cool dislocated my knee. So apologies for that.
There he is.
Yeah, Sandra Cool dislocated my knee, so I have a hard time walking.
Yeah, I wanted to touch on that match a little bit too. Eventually, I was wondering how you were feeling. That was a pretty brutal match you guys had. Now, just so everyone knows, I had to change up the chat. Can everyone still hear me through YouTube? Just get an answer from that, if you would, CFT. I want to make sure. We had a little bit of an audio issue, so Sander, I see you there. If you could respond, make sure we can hear you. Yep, all is fine. All right, perfect. So before we get started, those of you watching, everyone that's on here right now, make sure you click like, and if you haven't already, subscribe. And again, you can shoot any questions or comments you might have for myself or CFT while we dig into this. Now, Mr. Townsend, you are pretty new to this wrestling scene here, but you've definitely taken it by storm and become, in your short time here, one of the more notorious personalities that at least our territories have had in quite a while. Now, where were you before coming into wrestling? Because this is an origin story. We've seen what you've done here so far. Where did you come from? Who is Clarence Fletcher Townsend?
Well, you see, my parents were very rich people. My father was a billionaire, and my mother also had a little bit of money, not as much as my father, and when they both passed away, I got their money. And I used that money to go to college, learn business management, and now here I am. It's very simple. I have a degree from Harvard University, something I'm very proud of.
Ah, Harvard boy.
Indeed.
So, you're this billionaire playboy. What made you decide to get into wrestling? I've seen you both in ring. You manage probably one of the top stables. They're up and coming, but still they've sort of skyrocketed to the forefront in a very short amount of time. What made you go from being this young, rich playboy, could have done anything in the world, why wrestling?
Because my father was an investor in a wrestling promotion. Unfortunately, it didn't go anywhere. However, I saw this promotion and I thought, this stuff is really, really interesting. To me, I thought it was just... there was something about it. I don't know what it was, but something about it attracted me. So I went, and during my high school years, I started getting myself in shape. I joined the football team. I did stuff like that, despite my money, and I got myself in shape, and then I went to Steel Academy with my friend Ryan Steele, and he trained me, and, well, here I am.
Did you go to high school with Ryan Steele, or are you an Ohio boy as well?
No, I was born and raised in Los Angeles.
So how was it that you met Ryan Steele?
Well, when I got started in wrestling, I was going all around the country, trying to find someone to train me. Many people turned me down. I see there's this academy in Dayton, Ohio, because I found it online. And I went, and that's how I met Ryan Steele. And he also knew I had a degree in business management, so he told me, he's like, my career isn't going the way I want it to go right now. He's like, so do you think you could help me with that? Do you think you could be my agent of sorts? And I said, of course, I will definitely be your agent. All I want originally was just 5% of his earnings. And that's how that started. I didn't ask for much, just 5%.
So, so you get in the ring and you train with Ryan Steele and you manage him. What do you have a priority? Would you rather be in ring, or are you finding that you are having more enjoyment and a more meaningful out of the ring career as just as a manager and as a backstage personality?
Honestly, I'd hate to choose between the two. I enjoy doing both because though wrestling is a little more demanding, you have to keep yourself in shape more. You gotta be aware of the risks that you take by getting in there, career-ending injuries, things that can lead to, hell, in very rare scenarios, death. I mean, it happens. But for managing, those cases are very rare because all you're doing is standing at ringside. So, I mean, I hate to choose between the two because I enjoy doing both, as I said before.
All right, so you've this attitude that you have towards seemingly everyone else. Honestly,
Mm-hmm.
I've been a little bit surprised at this point in the interview. You've been as gracious as you have been, and I'll maybe credit Sander Cool for maybe rattling your cage a little bit in your match with him, because I'm not used
Rattling,
to having a civil conversation with you.
rattling my cage. No, he did not do that. Because let me tell you something, SBJ, despite what you think, I am still better than you. I am still better than Sander Cool. I am still better than anyone in this chat. That is how this goes. Okay, I have money. Most of you don't because you're poor as hell.
Now, this is the not so humble CFT that we're all used to hearing from. Um, why do you think so many people in this wrestling world that we live in and we work in every day dislike you? Now, in every group chat, in all the different forums, I see hardly any love for CFT. Why do you think that is?
Because they are jealous of me. As I said before, I have money and they don't. They wish they had my money. They wish they had my talent. They wish they had everything I have. They wish they had the beautiful fiance that I do. They wish they had the cars that I do. They wish they had the butler. They wish they had a stretch limo to take them anywhere they wanted to go. They don't have these things, and I do, and that makes them extremely jealous.
I guess I could see how that would etch a little bit of jealousy. But the thing is, there are men out there like the Joe Rivers of the world,
Oh,
um,
God.
the Wades. Well,
Actually, the waves are cool.
Aaron Wade
Aaron's cool.
seems to have some sort of affection for you, but Bobby Wade, I hear, is the exact opposite. We can touch in that after, but even people that have money, um, they've got in a sense millions. I know this is not billions, but in a sense these guys are millionaires. Um, Trey Jeter, he's a millionaire. He's got the clothing line and everything outside wrestling, but these men still dislike you. The members of the Wolfpack, like Scott Toffick, who we just had on episode 1, all these guys that in a sense should be closer up onto the level of person that you would affiliate with, they all still don't like you. Is that something that you may possibly take notice so you can fit in more, or Do you like standing out and I guess being who you are?
Here, I do like standing out because, see, like you said, Trey Jeter is a millionaire. That's what you said. He runs a clothesline and all that stuff. I've seen it. But I am a billionaire, a multi-billionaire, okay? So, Trey Jeter cannot touch me in net worth. Scott Toffick also can't touch me in net worth because they are both lower on the totem pole than I am. There are very few people at my end of the totem pole. And those people are guys like Warren Buffett, Jeff Bezos, Bill Gates, not Trey Jeter and Scott Toffick.
Now, we had something happen in HWA that caught your attention recently. Another gentleman that has basically zero love for CFT, Mr. DTM, Damian Thomas Michaels, he had recently brought a special guest along with him. Um, Someone that definitely does and can compete with you in the uh, monetary form, the former president of the United States, Mr. Donald Trump. Now, exactly why do you seem to dislike Mr. Trump so much? You
Because
said something about being rivals of some sort.
because for years Donald Trump, this happened when my father was alive. It all started between him and my father back in the 1980s. But what happened was Donald Trump was running his real estate empire in New York. My father was running his businesses, various businesses, too many to count, out of LA. Trump felt threatened by him. So my father basically threatened to run Trump out of business. This scared Trump. But the reason it never happened, the reason that Trump was never run out of business, was because maybe fortunately for Trump, my father passed away before that could happen. See, and I don't like Donald Trump, okay? Let me tell you something.
Did you
While
just
I
say that
was,
your father potentially would have run Donald Trump out of business? Did I
had he not died, probably so. But back to my
really?
point here. Back in the 2000s, when I was out getting my education and out learning different things, Donald Trump was on The Apprentice and apparently doing things with porn stars. Well, I was getting a college education and becoming,
Allegedly.
not allegedly, these are fact, and you ought to learn to deal in them, because Donald Trump cannot earn anything he's ever had. He doesn't know how to earn things. Donald Trump only knows how he can swindle and bribe people
Now you
like
you
that.
mentioned earning things. I don't mean to interrupt, but you mentioned earning things. You didn't earn your fortune. You inherited them from your father and mother's passing, correct?
Exactly, and I earned it because of my last name. It's hundreds of, I failed to
You
mention this
earned it
before,
because of your
hundreds of,
last name.
hundreds of years before that, our families have always been the richest family in the community since the days before the American colonies when they were in England. My great 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 grandfather Cornelius Townsend started that trend, and it kept going from there.
Now there's a rumor going around that springs up every now and then that you may be into some not so legal avenues as well. Rumors of smuggling of drugs and guns through Mexico and Texas. I mean, I don't expect you to outright admit to things like that, but what's your take on hearing these rumors?
Well, I can tell you right now, I run Townsend Enterprises, not MS-13. That's all I'm going to say about that. I don't run no illegal Mexican drug cartels or anything like that. I don't do anything with them.
So that's definitely there's no truth to that. That's just possibly made up things coming from. again, more people that are
Well, let me say something.
anti-Townsend.
Allow me to address TMZ, who probably came up with that rumor. I know you all like to, track down what celebrities do and stalk us and stuff like that, but I don't know what makes you think that I would do something like that, because clearly I have too much money to want to do anything that involves firearms and drugs in Texas, okay? I don't even go to Texas because Texas is a garbage state with a bunch of incest rednecks and two crappy football teams. So I don't go there.
America's football team.
America's
Now,
football team that can't win a game this year, but keep going.
I'm just checking here to see if some people have questions for you here. Being lucky and sums up your wrestling skills. So this is coming from Durgos. He says that
Durgos.
lucky sums up your wrestling skills. I guess
Oh, I
not
can
a
tell you right
question,
now,
more of a statement to you.
I know a thing or two about Durgos. None of my clients have ever faced him. I've personally never faced him, but I know he's a buddy of Sandra Cool's. And let me tell you something. Anyone who is a friend of Sandra Cool is an enemy of mine, because Sandra Cool is the nastiest, lowest person on this earth. And so is his girlfriend slash sister or whatever she is, Nora.
Now, I've known Sander Cool for a long time, since he started his career over in the UCW. Now,
I feel bad for
Sander
you.
has always been one of the most respectful personalities in our community. Why is it to you? Why do you think that Sander is this disgusting and vile person?
One word. And it's the one thing that my family have hated for years, for decades. Charity.
Charity. Because he
Charity.
does charity, or
He donates to charity. So does his wife or sister or girlfriend or whatever the hell she's. I don't care about Nora, okay? Because
I see your
they do this
question there,
nasty.
Scott Toffick. We'll get to that. Sorry,
Oh God,
CFT.
Scott Tallfick.
But
But no, let me tell
continue.
you something. That they talk about their charities. They donate to Children's Hospital. They donate to these foundations and stuff like that. Let me tell you something. If you want children to get better, find a way to not make them get sick in the first place. Okay, leave that to the scientists, not for some crappy organization that ain't gonna ever do anything. Okay, these charities have existed for decades without any good result.
So, do you? You mentioned leaving it to scientists. Do you, in fact, um, using your own advice, don't you donate to these hospitals and things that are doing the research, or
I
do you
don't
just sort of
do
let that go?
I don't donate. I invest. Those are two different things. Okay, way two different things.
Okay, I guess that's fair enough.
Now,
Um,
since you got that peasant Scott Tallfick on my mind, ask me his question. Go ahead.
so I think it's more of a probing question, and
Provo.
not necessarily anything with a lot of substance, to be honest. But Scott Toffick wants to know if you think that CFT is the best thing in eFed wrestling.
Right now, I wouldn't call myself the greatest thing going in eFed wrestling right now, but I can tell you who is the greatest thing going in eFed wrestling right now. My client, Ryan Steele. Okay, we've talked about this a million times. I'm not. I'm not. Ryan Steele is the greatest.
So you've made yourself a hell of a faction so far. Now, it seems to alter basically from company to company, but you have, the same base of superstars throughout, and with additions and subtractions, it seems, in different places wherever you go. So, your main guys, you've got Ryan Steele. We know how you met him. and then you always seem to have Bobby Wade or Aaron Wade beside you, rather. How is it that you got involved with Aaron Wade? If Wade being one of the more prestigious names in wrestling, but his older brother Bobby having definitely a huge disdain for you. How is it that you became working hand in hand with Aaron?
Aaron Wade and I met a little over a year ago, not long after he debuted. Aaron Wade said that he didn't want to be like his brother Bobby Wade. He had just got out of Wade Wrestling Academy. He didn't want to be thought of in the same light as his brother Bobby Wade simply because of his last name. So him and I had a long conversation. I explained to him different things about trade and how if he would work with me, I would see to it that he was not seen in the same light as Bobby Wade. So about a year goes by, he aligns himself with Aaron O'Connor in HWA, and he realizes, you know what? Because he took my advice, I told him to find himself a manager. So after O'Connor ditched him for losing, he's like, well, I realized something. Aaron O'Connor is a loser anyway. I lost because Aaron O'Connor was at my ringside. He calls me up and he's like, are you available? And I tell him, of course, I'm always available. So I come down, I start accompanying to ringside, and in IWA, I told him to make an impact. Do something that no one think you would do. So his younger brother, just debuted, Alan Wade, faced off against Colt Shields, and Alan lost. So I told Aaron Wade to, well, like I said, make an impact. What did he do? He attacked Alan Wade, his own younger brother, and put him through a table. And then last week on IWA Proving Grounds, he attacked Bobby Wade. Aaron Wade has made an impact.
You influenced a man that has the name like Wade to basically turn on his entire family and basically tarnish his own family name by attacking both his older and younger brother. That's influenced by you. You condone that? You seem pleased with that almost.
Well, it wasn't just completely my idea. What happened was some of it, especially the idea with Bobby Wade, that was actually Ryan Steele's idea. Because Ryan Steele has beaten Bobby Wade in retirement matches twice just for him to come back, okay? Ryan Steele, if you think about it, should have retired Bobby Wade because he beat him twice in matches where Bobby Wade said if he lost, he would retire. So Ryan Steele told Aaron, he's like, if I'm not going to be the one to retire him, you might as well be the one to retire him.
Now, it seems that Scott Toffick, for some reason, I didn't know you guys had this much disdain, but it seems that his comment on here that you and, I believe, Aaron Wade may have met through Tinder is what Scott Toffick says. I apologize for laughing there, Mr. Townsend. Don't sue us or myself.
Well, Scott, let me tell you something, okay? You talk about Tinder. When you get on Tinder, there's this screen that says, do you prefer men or women, okay? And sometimes you can press both just to see what you get, apparently. According to one of my sources, I've never been on Tinder. And every time you see a man, you swipe right. You see a hot woman, you swipe left. Okay, Scott? So shut up.
And it looks like Sander Cool not very pleased either. It says CFT destroys families because he doesn't care about others. Now, is that true? Do you not care about others? Is it more you find the best that money can buy in order to excel in your own life? Or do you truly think and try to impact and boost the lives of these individuals that you've recruited in?
Time out.
King James, I see you there. King James, thank you for checking in. James Black, the winner of the HWA's very first King of the Ring match that we had, the King of the Ring Rumble at our pay-per-view. King James, thank you for checking in. Please continue.
But let me tell you something. I am a very compassionate human being, despite what you people think, okay? I am very caring for people whose net worth is over $1 billion. Those
Very.
people I care a lot about. Those people I care a lot about, okay? Because they are good, decent human beings. If your net worth is below $1 billion, you are a piece of shit.
Sander Cool was talking about how he's actually beat you and beat Ryan Steele in matches very recently. And also, since we're on Ryan Steele, Steele seems to be having a little bit of a lapse, a little bit of hesitation as of late. It seems that these 3 losses in a row to Devil Dog in IWA have gotten into his head just a little bit. Are you concerned for the future of Ryan Steele as far as Townsend Enterprises goes? Do you think he's going to be a liability now that Mr. Devil Dog has sort of gotten to him and he doesn't seem to be acting as rational as he had in the past?
No, I don't, and I'll tell you why. Because out of all my clients, Ryan Steele is one of them I trust the most. And when Devil Dog wouldn't go to IWA headquarters to talk to Ryan Steele, because he said it was an ambush. An ambush. Why would Ryan Steele ambush someone, okay, and disrupt IWA business when Ryan Steele is the cornerstone of IWA?
Maybe
Ryan
because Devil Dog has dominated him 3 times in a row. And
but still,
he
he
helped
is the cornerstone
mentor
of
Ryan Steele
IWA.
in his early part of his career.
Just because he met him in, I don't know, IWA, UCW, wherever he trained Ryan Steele at. Let me tell you something. Ryan Steele is a way different person now, as Devil Dog, if he was here, would probably testify to. But Ryan Steele is, well, like I said, he is the cornerstone of IWA. He would not disrupt IWA business because he eats, sleeps, and breathes IWA. He bleeds IWA. And just for Devil Dog, for him to assume that Ryan Steele would do that in front of Mr. Steele and in front of all of his executives is, quite frankly, stupid. Devil Dog would never.
I'm pretty close to Devil Dog, and what I'm seeing is that he sees the changes that you've made in, like, Aaron Wade. He sees the things that Aaron Wade has done while in your tutelage. So now, and he sees the change in Ryan Steele as well. So Devil Dog's military mind, he sees what's going on, and he kind of sees that danger that, you know, he could have been walking right into an ambush and he wasn't going to put himself there. Devil Dog doesn't have the backing that he used to in IWA when he was there before. Colt Shields wasn't around. There's no Caleb Shaw wasn't available, so he's not going to walk himself in knowing that you have a team of 10, 15 guys at any given day that could come in and meet him there. You know, Devil Dog's too smart for that.
Ryan Steele went alone. My other clients were with me at Steele Academy in Dayton, Ohio, because Ryan Steele told me to make sure that I can oversee their training while he went to go talk to you. Matter of fact, his son was there, okay? I mean, everyone was there. His client, his son, my other client, Hunter Steele, was there.
Now, for those of you, again, just tuning in now, we've got on the line with us here live Clarence Fletcher Townsend. Not a huge origin story because his career hasn't been taken off very long yet, but we're sort of getting started in what looks like it's going to be a promising in-ring and managerial career for Mr. Townsend. So please make sure you hit like, subscribe. I see there's at least 5 people on there watching right now. So if you haven't done that yet, folks, it only takes 0.2 seconds to tap on the like button, elbow drop it, super kick it, whatever it is that you've got to do. Subscribe, and remember, you can always make comments in the side here, sending questions to both myself and to Mr. Townsend. Now,
Speaking of those, has anyone said anything?
said anything about what?
Me? Anyone? I mean, what's anyone said anything in the chat?
The typical stuff. We saw that you possibly met your Mr. Wade through Tinder. We see that it looks like Sander Cool believes that you only care about the rich. He cares about everyone, something that you never can because you are too concerned about making a profit. That's from Sander Cool quoting. Um, and then it looks like Sander Cool wants to talk a little bit about NGW, shall we? CFT, he says. So
NGW? Very
NGW,
well.
he mentioned. Yeah.
Very well. Let me catch you up because you guys aren't involved in NGW, so allow me to catch you up a little bit, if I
What
may.
is NGW?
NGW is called Next Generation Wrestling. It is a subsidiary. It's not completely affiliated, but it is a subsidiary of 3WA run by Mr. Jacob Justice. This is run by a legendary eFed wrestler in the 3WA world, Andrew Webb. Webb is the general manager, and that's where I started having issues with Sander Cool, because I originally just went down there to be an agent for Ryan Shaw, Luke Walker, Ethan Moore, a few of the Next Generation guys, and then before you know it, Sander Cool was luring me into in-ring matches, and I'm like, you know what? I haven't actually had a match at this scale, so I'll do it. So what did I do? I mean, Sander Cool will even agree that these are true statements I'm about to say. I'm not going to lie. What happened was there's a clown there named SNK. And what did I do?
A
I made a
clown
deal
as in a person or a physical clown with a red nose and big floppy red shoes?
He does not have a red nose and big floppy shoes, but he is an actual clown. And what did SNK do? Me and him made a deal. He kidnapped and converted Nora. Made her in,
Hold on 1 second. You said you and he made a deal to kidnap someone.
and
You
convert.
just admitted to kidnapping someone on national television here. I'm
I
pretty
didn't kidnap
sure
them.
you're
I
going to go
paid
to
them
jail.
well, they can't arrest someone with a net worth like mine.
You paid them to kidnap someone. That's still on the same level.
Well, considering the fact I own the Los Angeles Police Department and the FBI, I don't really see that happening. But let me tell you something. I did that, and Nora started calling herself Pandora. And she started thinking she was this demented clown. She dyed her hair green. She basically went insane. And then SNK did some sort of ritual, whatever, after a while, to make Pandora back into Nora, and Pandora still exists at the same time. They have become two separate people
So in a
with this
sense, the
weird clown magic.
kidnapping opened Pandora's box, I guess you could almost say.
I would say so. And now SNK has warped this guy in NGW named Brody Blackwell, but we'll get to him in a minute. There is
Scott
another
Toffick
guy.
mentioned Brody Blackwell as well. He said he can't wait to see you.
Well, yeah. But that is one of Scott Tolfick's buddies, I forgot. But Tommy Harris, who is Sander Cool's best friend, I believe they even grew up together, was warped by SNK, and he became SNK's servant, Jester. And Jester's job was to help SNK with his master plans, to set everything in place. He helped SNK cash in on Alexander Van Diver to win the NGW World Championship. He intentionally knew that Ryan Shaw was an alcoholic, so he gave him alcohol before his defense against Ryan Shaw to help him win. Jester was just manipulative, and now that he's been converted back to Tommy Harris, and I hear there are plans. I mean, Sander can confirm or deny. There are actually rumors on the internet that Sander Cool and Nora are getting married.
Now, I thought that Sander Cool and Nora were just friends, and it looks like James or Scott Toffick, a little bit of a dirty adult joke, perhaps. Won't dig into
Read it anyway.
the meaning of it, but he says that Sander Cool opened Pandora's box. A little, maybe a touch of adult humor there with that comment, I believe.
I mean, he kind of did because
IWA Network checking in. I don't know if it's Mr.
if it's Aaron
Seal
Wade,
on
how you
there
doing, buddy?
or one of the Wades, but thank you for checking in as always. Whether it's Aaron or Bobby or James Seal himself over in IWA, make sure you click that like button since you just turned on here. If you have any questions, Mr. Seal, for Clarence Fletcher Townsend, or want to make any comments, make sure you do that as well. We're following along with the Twitter feed here. Now, Mr. Townsend, let's go a little bit. You were talking in NGW. Did you get to finish your story? You had a good spot where you can move.
No, I actually didn't. Now,
All right, continue
SNK,
with that. That's got people's attention, it seems.
SNK has recently, now that Tommy and Nora have been converted back to their old forms, has targeted Brody Blackwell. Brody Blackwell has went completely insane. And after I recover from this injury, my first match back is against Brody Blackwell. Brody Blackwell has lost his mind. Matter of fact, Sander Cool and I, to make sure that Sander Cool was mentally sane and competent because of the people he had injured before his match against me, we had him go on Dr. Phil. We went on Dr. Phil to have Dr. Phil examine Sander Cool. And what happened was, Dr. Phil started thinking I was the problem, so I had to choke out Dr. Phil.
This sounds very similar to Sander Cool in the Hybrid Wrestling Alliance. We had several people that had to get questioned. It wasn't Dr. Phil, but we had spots there where several of our talent, including Sander Cool, had to get evaluations, we'll call them, done. So that's kind of a cool little spot that had been touched on before by HWA. Did Sander pass?
That's the problem. He did. And then I had to face him inside a steel cage. I had it won. Then we both get to the top of the cage. Sander Cool cheap shots me. I think he had a foreign object. It might have been brass knuckles or something like that. And then he threw me off the cage and I dislocated my knee and my shoulder.
I did see that fall. I did see that fall. That looked pretty damn gruesome. And, you know, say what you want about, you know, I've tried to do a great job being non-biased, and seeing that fall, I don't wish that on anyone. So, indeed, I may not agree with everything that you say all the time, but I do hope that you recover quickly. That was a horrible fall, folks. If you hadn't seen that yet, anyone that's watching, check out NGW. What episode was that?
That was their the more recent one. It wasn't an actual episode. It was just their super show, they called it. Both
super
brands
show,
got together.
The special or whatnot. So make sure you check that out. NGW. What is the YouTube channel name for NGW? So our
just
fans can check it out.
Next Generation Wrestling.
Next Generation Wrestling on YouTube, folks. If you didn't see that, the most recent episode, it's kind of a gruesome fall, and you know, use your own discretion. You may want to watch it, folks, before you let your children see it. I didn't think that legs were supposed to bend that way, and honestly, it surprises me. You must be very very good shape, and very flexible. That landing that you had, the way that your leg bent in the wrong direction, that was pretty gross, folks. So go to NGW, New Generation Wrestling, on YouTube and check that out, everyone that's watching. Very
Next
gruesome
Generation
fall.
Wrestling.
That's what I thought I said. I apologize.
It's a New Generation Wrestling. Either way, that's basically the gist of NGW. Now I have actually started a little bit of a business dealing with General Manager Webb, and we've united a bunch of people from all around Europe to form the United Kingdom. I can't wait to see how that's going to go.
Now, I'm just taking a peek here for a second, folks. Following along the Twitter feed here. Um, Rumors, yeah. He is talking about reality. I'm just kind of skimming back through here. That was after Scott Toffick's mentioning of Sander Cool opened Pandora's box. Um, Nora has something cooking up in NGW, and she doesn't want to tell me about it, so I cannot confirm or deny rumors at the time. Apparently, Sander thinks that Nora has something cooking up over there. Not sure what he's talking
Well, yeah,
about there.
well, that is true. Nora is cooking up meth because she is a crack whore. So I can confirm that.
You can confirm that Nora uses crack.
I can confirm that Nora does a bunch of stuff. Matter of fact, the Durgos is still in the chat. Hey, when are you gonna admit about, the things that she did with you and Martrix? Okay, you can just go ahead and admit it. It's not like it's not public knowledge because it's all over the internet.
I don't. I haven't heard any rumors about um, a love triangle between Nora, Martrix, and Durgos, but apparently here CFT says that's a thing. So this is from James Seal. We touched a little bit
James,
about your involvement with Aaron Wade. James Seal wants to know what your thoughts are on Aaron Wade's current losing streak in IWA and challenging his brother Bobby Wade to a future match.
Aaron Wade might have a few losses right now. And yes, I think it's getting to him. There was one point he even said he was going to retire. He got that frustrated.
I did see
But I can
that
tell
as
you right
well.
now, Aaron Wade is and always will be the undisputed future of IWA. That I have no doubt about. And just because he's having this little rough patch, I told him, you know what? I didn't just tell him. Ryan Steele told him. Mark Barrett told him. Mark Barrett's new bodyguard told him to challenge Bobby Wade. Challenge your brother. You know what? Your brother has always kept you in his shadow. Now it is time for you to show him that you are not just the little brother of Bobby Wade, that you are Aaron Wade. You are the undisputed future. You do that. You destroy your own brother whenever you get the chance. And that's what he's going to do when him and Bobby Wade meet.
I don't think that Bobby Wade, I've known Bobby for a long time. I don't think that he's ever tried to hold Aaron back. In fact, I remember them when they were younger, when Aaron was just getting in, and Bobby Wade, as much as he could, Bobby was always on the road, of course. By that time, Bobby was a mainstay, one of the big names in our industry. And Bobby, as much as he could, was always trying to be there for Aaron to um, help train him and help get him ready and help prepare him for a career that Aaron definitely was going to get into, continuing that legacy. I don't think that he's ever tried to keep Aaron in his shadow. Is that
That's
how
not
you
how.
and Aaron feel?
That's not necessarily how I feel. I don't know what went on because I didn't know Aaron when he was still in Wrestling Academy. I met him when he debuted in IWA, but that's how Aaron feels about Bobby. And as his agent, I'm inclined to, make sure that I feel the same way because his beliefs have to essentially be mine in these instances. And knowing that, I think that if Aaron believes that if his brother is holding him back, it is time for Aaron to make his own legacy, become a bigger legend than Bobby Wade in IWA and elsewhere.
I guess
Because
that
I know
makes
everybody can do it.
sense. On the other side of things, as his agent and as someone that has strong influence over Aaron Wade, couldn't you just as easily help influence Aaron seeing things differently and doing it in a way where he does not have to destroy the relationship with his family? Like he could challenging his brother. I understand that. That is definitely a step sometimes that you need to take, a hurdle, but it doesn't have to be um, what's going on. This negative, this feuding that he has, and with your influence, you could easily change this from being a negative thing into a positive flow. Do you see
Well,
what I'm talking about? But you choose to make this some sort of divide.
well, I'll tell you why, SVJ. This isn't my thing at all. I just think that Aaron Wade is a better client and just better everything when he's determined, when he's motivated, when he's angry. Like that goes for any of my clients. And if he feels as if he can prove something by beating Bobby Wade one on one because he feels as if Bobby Wade has wronged him, well, then I believe that's the step he has to take, whether he is in the right or not, which I don't know if he is or isn't. I cannot attest to this. But I think that if that's what he thinks he has to do, that's what he should do.
Now, we've had several people in the Twitter feed going here so far mention your girlfriend and
My fiance, not
your
girlfriend.
fiance. I'm not going to say the name yet, but there's a comment that came up that CFT's girlfriend is like a village bicycle. Everyone gets a ride. Was
Wait, excuse me? You're talking about my fiance, Victoria Emerson.
that is a quote. Victoria Emerson, I know that name. I'm not very
She
familiar.
showed up in HWA
for
once.
some reason, the name stands out.
Remember, she showed up in HWA for one match at ringside.
Okay, okay, I do remember a young lady being with you. Wasn't
That's my
exactly
fiance.
Sure. That's your fiance, and what was her name?
Victoria Emerson.
Victoria Emerson. Now, what is her background? I've heard a few, I don't know, rumors, but it says here in my notes that she may have been in the adult industry of some sort.
Well, I can say that's 100% false. I can tell you right now, her family and my family are pretty much the same when it comes to financial status. And we met back when I think we were still in high school. We both went to the same private high school, because we didn't want to go and, contract whatever illnesses or whatever peasants have, and now look, they're causing a pandemic. But either way, Victoria Emerson and I, we quickly got along. We were originally just really good friends. You know how it is. Boys and girls can be friends. And then it grew into more. And we've been together ever since. From then to through my college years and down to now in my adult life.
So, while we're still on Miss Emerson, our producer, Nicole, just handed me this little DVD sample here. She handed me this along with a second one. Now, the second one, people may recognize One Night in Paris. Now, I'm not going to put this other one in because I don't watch that, and it looks like it's kind of a doctored copy here. And actually, it's labeled to SBJ from DTM. And it's got One Night in Paris, and then there's a second one that says One Night in Victoria. And the picture of it's your fiance. I don't know if it's just a doctored fake video from DTM just to...
Yeah, it has to be, because I can tell you right now, it's got to be. Because let me tell you something, DTM is jealous, okay? Because let me remind you, DTM, your piece of shit wife is dead. Mine's alive.
Now, you guys seem to be going back. He brings in Trump, who is a known rival of your family since the 80s. And now things like this DVD that he says he's going to be, officially releasing to the world that is labeled One Night in Victoria. Um, and DTM was actually, if we look back, we remember DTM was starring with Paris Hilton in this video, One Night in Paris, and he's the one that actually released that as well. That one was said to be a rumor as well, but I mean, we've all seen One Night in Paris, DTM and Paris Hilton's video. Um,
But also, you have to keep in
is
mind there's
there
more than one woman named Victoria in this world.
true? But he used a picture of your Victoria on it on the cover, clearly.
Well, then why don't you just pop? Better yet, don't do that. I don't think you should get
I can't
demonetized.
pop it in here in live. I am curious. I don't watch movies like that. Um, Miss Jericho and we don't watch that stuff, but very intriguing. I do want someone to pop this video in and just try to confirm or um, see if it's false accusations. Um, Coming over here to we've got a couple new guests. It looks like Blazed Radio, and it looks like King James, Mr. Black is back. King James has a question for you, CFT. For those of you that just came on the show, Blaze, James Black, Durgos, make sure you guys all click that like button. That I'm having a hard time. You've got to get this video away from me. One Night in Paris. Nicole, please. Here, thank you. Sorry, just the video there in front of me, kind of a distraction. Um, anyway, those of you that are just joining in here with us, make sure you remember to click that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, make a comment here for CFT, this live interview with Clarence Fletcher Townsend. King James, what is your question, sir? And again, Blaze Radio, thank you for jumping in again. Sort of turning into a reoccurring guest. And now James Rollerson is back. This is Sinister. Sinister, make sure you click that like button as well, sir. I appreciate you jumping in here. Now, before we get you rolling again, Mr. Townsend, it looks like Sander has another comment. Sander, NGW is looking for women's competitors, but the signing period... What is Sander trying to say here? But the signing period is from May and November, but maybe you can help. I'm not exactly sure what Sander is referring to. Maybe trying to build the NGW women's roster there. James Black says, all I hear about is how much money you have and Vicky's secrets. James Black wants to know if you can actually wrestle. That's coming from King James, the winner. If you haven't
James
seen
Black
yet
asked
sorry,
you want to know if
everyone
I
knows
can?
James Black. Go ahead.
I'll tell you right now.
Continue.
Yes, 100% I can. Because I have actually won a lot of matches. As a matter of fact, it's almost to the point where I've won about as much as I've lost. And the only reason I've lost so much is because they were multi-man matches where I wasn't the person pinned in the decision. But I have beaten Jordan Blade in NGW. I have pinned Sander Cool and defeated Jacob Cross. I have, let's see here. There's quite a few others around the industry I've beaten. I haven't really kept track. You know, when you beat a loser, you just kind of forget their name.
Now, I
But
haven't
yes,
heard any names on there that I know a lot of them up and comers, but no real substantial names there.
I
When
pinned
James
Sander Cool for
Black,
3 seconds.
James Black, King James rather, sorry, King James says that your answer that sounds like an educated no, that you can't wrestle is what he's saying basically. based off the
Well,
names you've beaten and your win-loss record.
well, hey, James Black. Why don't you
And
go?
Sinister says also that he is waiting for a legit name there. So seems Sinister Lucian Gage is in agreement with James Black.
Well, wait till you see the 12 Days of Beating, which is a 3WA build-up event. Let me find this, because I find this very, very unfair that the general manager, Jacob Justice, has put me against the following people for 12 consecutive days in the build-up to the Resolution pay-per-view. Let me find this. This is pretty up here in my email inbox. In the meantime, I guess you could read comments or
I did
find
see
whatever
that list
commentators say.
as well, and some big names on there. So I am definitely interested in seeing that. I don't have
I'm pulling it up right now.
say this as politely as I can. I don't have a lot of confidence that you're going to come out of this in very good shape, seeing the names that you're going to take on. I know DTM and Devil Dog and whatever are higher on that list as you get deeper into it. So good luck in your 12 days of beating. And Sander
Here we go. I
Cools-
found the list.
Oh, he found a list.
found
Go
the
ahead.
list.
Let's hear the list.
Day 1, Jacob Cole, who wants revenge on me for HWA. Day 2, Dylan Bates. Day 3, Justin Armstrong. Day 4, DV8. Day 5, Devin Wade. Day 6, Landon Moore. Day 7, Caleb Shaw. Day 8, General Manager Jacob Justice. Day 9, Michael Blaze. Day 10, Devil Dog. Day 11, Joe Rivers. Day 12, Ricky Armstrong. And then at the pay-per-view, DTM.
So there are some definitely legit names in that list, and you've got to fight them in
For
succession.
12 consecutive. For 12 days.
That's days. There's no breaks in between. Is that episodes or is that days in a row?
Those are days in a row, and then the only break I get is before I face DTM, and I only have a week. And then I have to face off in both days because Resolution is 2 different days. Day 1 is NGW, day 2 is 3WA, and I have to compete both days.
What did you do to the 3WA owner in order to get this crazy stipulations thrown on you?
I took over the general manager position, and he didn't like the fact that, let's just put it this way, Ryan Steele is the world champion because of me. Let's put it this way, the tag team champions are the Bakers. The number 1 contender for the world championship is my client, Jason Drax. The United States champion is King Dominator. The world, not the tag team, but the world tag team champions are my clients, Blackout. Almost every champion on that roster is my client, and they are jealous about it.
Now, it looks like I didn't see these matches, but Sander Cool says you pinned him, but it was in a tag team match, and he
Ryan
beat
Shaw
you in
was
the
my partner.
one-on-one matches.
Ryan Shaw was my partner in that tag team match, yes, but most of the match was me just versus Sander Cool one-on-one. Had it not been in a steel cage, Sander, and the stipulation wasn't escape to victory, I'd have pinned you again, and you know that. That's the reason you wanted the steel cage stipulation, because you knew you cannot beat me by pinfall.
I apologize for laughing there, CFT. I wasn't laughing at you. I was laughing at King James' comment. He says, I quote, 12 days of beating sounds like the 3rd DVD that we got in the mail.
Well, James Black is just an idiot. Matter of fact, I believe that video was between him and Devil Dog in the build-up to their stuff on 3Dub. If I remember correctly, based off of the rumors that Mr. Trevor Valentine in NGW told me.
Now, James Black also says that Caleb Shaw and DTM are the only legit names on that list.
You don't see Devil Dog
that
as a legit name?
opinion
You don't
is
see
debatable.
Ricky Armstrong or Joe Rivers?
That's more of an opinionated thing. A lot of those other names are great legit wrestlers. And Devil Dog has actually beat James Black, and I know they've been sort of staying away from each other, so I don't want to re-spark a flame.
Well,
I
you
know
got the hell beaten out of you by James Black in HWA.
that's true. I did. James Black is in sort of a dark place. The owners here of HWA felt that he's sort of getting his mind right. So despite the attack when he struck me down, he did in the Hybrid Wrestling Alliance, the old show before we rebooted, over some things that I had said to him in the 3-dub lobbies. And I haven't forgotten about that. And James Black, know that I am not afraid of you. I will continue to do my job and say what I have to say, and we'll just leave it at that. Now, it looks like we've had some more comments, and folks, we've got IWA here. Olive Townsend Enterprises lost at IWA's recent pay-per-view Revenge. How will Townsend Enterprises rebound from that? Good question from James Seal.
We've already rebounded. We have a bad show. We already rebound. That's just how it works, okay? Colt Shields beat Aaron Wade in a tables match. Devil Dog retained against Ryan Steele. Just to name a couple. And
I don't think Ryan Steele even hit Devil Dog in that match, if I remember
it was
correctly.
about a 3 or 4 minute match, but we're not talking about that here. Aaron Wade put up a good match against Colt Shields. Tables match. However, Colt Shields managed to put Aaron Wade through the table. But you see, we bounced back rather quickly, okay? That's why the next show on Proving Grounds, Aaron Wade attacked Bobby Wade. That's why Ryan Steele is already rebounding. He was going to shake Devil Dog's hand. He didn't do that. So we're building up for something new. IWA management, Mr. Steele promises something big for Ryan Steele, so we'll see where that leads to. Mark Barrett, who's a guy you may not have heard of, but he's trying to get himself ready, and he's got himself his new bodyguard. I'm not allowed to say names right now, but he will be coming in hopefully soon, maybe come the next episode of Proving Grounds, as far as I know.
Now, it looks like Sinister not having very much good to say about you guys talking about NGW, and it's been a big topic here. He doesn't think that NGW is a federation that matters. He says 3-Dub, New, HWA are the relevant ones, and these other shows that you're talking about don't really matter so much. That's his opinion.
And outside of HWA, who the hell has heard of Sinister or Inglorious Bastards, okay? So, no one, but people all around the world, because I make sure they know, have heard of Ryan Steele, have heard of the Bakers, have heard of JP3, have heard of Jason Drax, have heard of King Dominator, have heard of Blackout, have heard of Duke Awesome, Tommy Valiant. I could go all day. These people know because I program it in their heads. Outside of HWA, no one knows who the hell you are, so just shut up, okay? No one cares what you have to say. Now, next question.
All right, and Sander, it looks like he's kind of siding with you a little bit. NEW and 3-Dub are important feds, yes, but NGW is a rising fed, and it is a fed that deserves some love. It is totally worth it, just saying. And that's quoted
You might
from
as well
Sander
just go
Cool.
ahead and call it Sander Cool Circle Jerk, because that's essentially what he's making it. Him and Tommy Harris and all these other guys.
Now, that's something that I kind of had a thought on. Originally, you said that you paid this clown, what was his name again? SNK. You paid this clown to kidnap Nora. So in a sense, you got this whole feud thing started, but now, I believe you said that he's sending this Blackwell guy and other ones that he is turning into his I don't know, mind-washed clown posse is now going after you. How did that turn about? Did you and Mr. SNK have some sort of disagreement, or
SNK and I have two contradicting views on how NGW should be run. I believe that we need more emphasis on one group of wrestlers. He believes that it should only be guys that he essentially warps. See, so that's why I formed the United Kingdom. I've got guys from Russia, Ireland, England, so several other countries. There's just so many. The group is growing. We've had people from other countries message us wanting to know, hey, how do we get involved in this? And I can tell you right now, SNK, if you're watching from whatever, I don't know, circus you watch from, I don't know, maybe you just got done with your little Ringling Brothers circus show that you go to. Let me tell you something right now. I've already got an army growing. You've only got Brody Blackwell and yourself. You don't have anything, SNK. Nothing.
Now, this is a statement from Sinister that you probably agree with. He says, never trust a clown.
Yeah.
I don't like clowns myself, and I know that Devil Dog's a good friend of mine. He really doesn't like clowns either. Now, is SNK in any relationship with a newer clown that we've actually seen in HWA, and he's in IWA as well, Tyler Consiglio? Is there any relationship between Consiglio and this SNK guy, or
not that I know
they
of?
They just are both happen to be clown enthusiasts?
Well, I would not call either of them enthusiasts. Both are out of their mind. I don't think it's an enthusiast. I think it's a mental disorder. But that's just my opinion.
A real quick one. Looks like Durgos is actually Durgos for some reason has been more siding with you. It seems about more things. So let's get into his comment real quick before I ask my question. Now, CFT got it right. Nobody knows about Sinister. Not impressed, and I'll kick Sinister's ass. Now, in episode 13, Durgos will square off against Sinister one-on-one. Their partners will be at ringside. Now, where I was going with my thought, do you and Durgos have any relationship or in talks about you possibly representing Durgos or Durgos and Martrix, the Resistance? Is there anything to that, or or is it just a random thought more?
I haven't actually contacted Durgos or Martrix about being my client. I actually manage one too many tag teams at the moment, so I just haven't messaged them.
So probably just sharing similar opinions on certain superstars. That's fair. I guess that can happen.
That's what it seems like to me.
You just don't see too many people choosing to agree with you on many things. We'll just kind of leave it at that. Now, Sander Cool, SNK. Sander Cool, SNK, and my vision are very different as well. And believe me, I would love to kick his ass if it wasn't for him having answers for some question. I don't exactly know where Sander's going with that, but let's see. I'm just gonna check the Twitter feed real quick here to see if I missed anything else. I follow my own way. I agree with who I want. If he's right, he's right. Everything else that I do is for myself. That's Durgos answering my question, I guess. So, what we kind of touched on a little bit about your past and a little bit about what's going on now. Where do you see yourself, your in-ring career, your Townsend Enterprises? What's like your, say, 5-year plan for Townsend Enterprises first, and then same question for your in-ring career?
Well, most of my 5-year plans have already come to fruition. Take over the industry. And for the next 5 years, probably more than that, because I don't plan on leaving anytime soon, I will have this industry by the balls, okay? With myself, Ryan Steele, everyone. you might as well, if you don't like me now, which most of you don't, you might as well get used to me, okay? Because I ain't going anywhere. I don't plan on going anywhere, nor will I go anywhere. You just need to learn to get used to me, because in 5 years, Ryan Steele's probably going to hold more world titles than Ric Flair ever did in his entire career, because he knows that by listening to me, he will become the greatest of all time. That's all I have to say about that.
All right, so same question. Your in-ring career. Um, do you see that that's going to take off, or be honest with yourself and be honest with the rest of us. Right now, most of the world looks at you as you're a noob in the ring. Um, I don't like saying this to a lot of people, but a lower or mid card talent. Let's be honest. Do you think that you're going to progress enough in the ring to have a bright future as a competitor as well as a manager?
Well, with further training from Steel Academy, I believe that I could. I just believe I got to put in more work. I'm learning new moves. I mean, you can notice some improvement. Hell, even Sander Cool and some of these other idiots that don't like me would even testify that I was a more formidable opponent when they most recently faced me than the first time they faced me, okay? Because I adapt. And I think it'll come to the point where I'll be able to beat just about anybody. And I can't wait for the 12 days of beatings. Most people think that I should be scared for this 12 days of beatings. Matter of fact, no. This is going to be the greatest training experience of my life. Facing Devil Dog, Joe Rivers, Ricky Armstrong, DTM at the end of all of it, Michael Blaze, guys that, Caleb Shaw, guys that have made an impact in this industry, guys that I know that with enough work and enough training, I could actually beat.
Now, folks, if those of you watching like that statement as much as I do, make sure you click that like button for Mr. Townsend, because that was a very respectable thing to say, a very respectable outlook on this. Now, this is a great test, and if you can manage to pick up some wins through this, you definitely will earn my respect. There are some big names on there, and I do wish you luck with that. That's a sort of a gauntlet that I don't wish anyone else to go through, especially with this injury that you just took. How much time between now to this 12 days of beating do you have? When does it start?
I believe it starts next week or the week after. Either way, I'll be medically cleared by then. I already went to the doctor, and they said that due to the way I fell, that it could have been a lot worse, and that my injury is not incredibly severe.
Now, will we be seeing you with a leg brace in these matches to kind of help with that, or do you think that?
I always wear a knee pad. So the referee the referee said that he would allow the matches to go on if I still wore those. The trainers also said that. The referee said he would not actually do any matches if I didn't wear my knee pads, something like that, to keep myself protected, keep my knee protected. So I'll see how that goes.
Sander Cool actually offered you a compliment as well. He said that you improved, and he admits that you fought well. He said you fought good, but you fought well in that steel cage, but your ego gets in the way. And before we get into that, a comment that doesn't really have to deal with CFT, but Sinister touched on NEW a little bit. Says that he commends Durgos for how he handled Dark and Graves, and thinks that Martrix is holding him back. Sort of a little fun fact there for people that watching, the fans out there following the shows, not just CFT fans, but something to kind of keep an eye on. You Sinister I'm looking to maybe beat some sense into Durgos. I don't know if causing some sort of separation there within the resistance. That comment that Sinister touched on, kind of interesting. And he says that in episode 13 is not going to be good for Durgos. Now, CFT, I don't know. We touched on past, present, future. Do you have any sort of closing statements as we near 100 comments here in your show so far?
Well, I'll tell you right now.
Pretty good showing.
I am very proud of my clients, okay? With my money and their ability, we have done a lot over just a few months, okay? I am a legend in this industry. If you don't believe me, ask me. I am just that good, and I know I am. I think could
You
go
put
down
that
as
on
the
a
greatest.
T-shirt.
I think I did. I already made a shirt that says Sandra Cool sucks, and on the back and it says and Nora blows. I mean, yeah, I think that with enough work, that these boys are going to prove themselves. We've already taken over most of the promotions that we've been in, and I can tell you right now, as time goes by, you'll see us in more places. If you haven't heard of us now, I know I've seen you post this link in places like 3Dub, companies that I'm not directly involved in. But I'll tell you right now that you can see me span out to places like that. I mean, I've reached out to quite a few different promoters, and tell you right now, if you're ever interested in me, Ryan Steele, all you have to do is message me. I bet SPJ could give you my phone number, my email address.
I have actually been in talks. I just got the okay to mention this publicly, but I have been in talks with Drew Gessner, the owner of Worldwide Wrestling, you know as 3WA. He came to me personally asking me about Ryan Steele. So definitely he has gotten noticed. Steele has, and as well as other members of the Townsend Enterprises. I just got the okay to be able to mention that. So you are definitely doing your job promoting your talent. You're doing a hell of a job with that.
Let me tell you something, Mr. Gessner. You message me. You message my assistant, my servant, Hayden Milliken, and he'll gladly help get Ryan Steele to 3Dub, me, and of course his agent, of course, will be there. And we'll see where that can take off. All you do is inbox me, and I'll gladly enter discussions with you, and we'll see how this goes. Because I can tell you right now, Ryan Steele will dominate 3Dub. I know that.
Ryan Steele has always, say what you want about current Ryan Steele, he's always been a worker. I've been following him since he first broke into IWA, and he's always been a worker, that's for sure. He's had his ups and downs. Finally, he's been shooting up and main eventing a lot of things. So other than some of his personality, I have a lot of good to say about Ryan Steele. Always been a fan. He's had huge potential, lots of upside there. So I wish him the best of luck, and I would love to see him jump into a bigger stage.
Matter of fact, SPJ, you said you had permission to talk about this. I have permission to talk about this part. Ryan Steele actually asked about getting on one of these episodes of Hybrid Origins with you, SPJ, when he's not busy training his son at the academy, when he's not busy with his bookings, because he's booked a lot. He would like to come in. He'd like to talk to you. He'd like to tell you his story, and he's got a way bigger story than I do.
Well, that's definitely possible, and I will make sure that Nicole, excuse me, can you add Ryan Steele to our growing list of Hybrid Origins, please?
Yep. Yes, I said I'm actually glad you're doing this. Nicole. I'm actually glad you decided to do these, SPJ, because in most instances I wouldn't be able to tell my story, and I'm glad I was able to do so.
And that's exactly what these hybrid origins is about. It's not just Hybrid Wrestling Alliance. This is Hybrid Origins, meaning the reason that we took on the name Hybrid is because we are a mix of all these different eFeds that don't usually communicate with each other, or these talent that have these issues with each other. That way, you guys can speak freely about one another. That way, it introduces this great talent to these other communities, these other eFeds, these other territories that wouldn't normally see each other. That's what the hybrid is all about, a mix of all these different factors. So great that you touched on that, CFT. Now, before you leave here, I just want to see if anyone else had any questions for you, because we're getting ready to wrap this up. The next guest, I believe, for some odd reason, I don't have it in front of me, but I believe the next guest is from Lit Wrestling. It's going to be Robbie Riker Regal, folks. For those of you that do not know who Robbie Regal is, that is going to be a treat. He's got a huge personality. This man, he's going to be a big name for sure in the eFed industry, and he has taken Lit by storm, folks, and I can't wait to see more of what he does, and I'm looking forward to bringing him on. So that being said here, I want to take a quick scroll. Make sure those of you who are on here, hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. And James Rollerson, I see you. You are already on there yourself. I don't know if you wanted to do one on your clients, Sinister, Lucian, and Damian Gage or not, but you will be added to that list as well. Nicole is listening. So let's look down this real quick. James Rollerson will be debuting in Season 6 of 3-Dub. And it looks like Sander Cool in Season 6 of 3-Dub Nora. And he will get a greater fate, I hope. He says, Steel is always welcome to take down if he shows up, and maybe he can introduce the EU title. So Takedown being one of the brands of 3-Dub, and maybe Cool and Nora, the origin story, next SBJ. So Xander Cool, you are already on the list to be a member, to be a guest on the origin story. But I believe next in order is either Robbie Regal from Lit. Also, the King James Black is going to be an upcoming guest. So those of you that are on here, PM me from my Stephen Benoit Jericho Facebook page if you are wanting to be a guest. We will get you added to the list. CFT, Clarence Fletcher Townsend, thank you so much for coming on the show. It was great having you.
Thank you for having me.
Be careful. Don't get yourself kicked out of these other shows, because we'd like to have you around for a long time. I believe that, you're a talent like, Ted DiBiase. You could be that big in this industry.
Well, no, because I have more than Ted DiBiase, so,
More money-wise, yeah. I kind of knew you were going to say that. But again, thank you for being a guest here with us. I look forward to seeing what
Anytime.
you do in the future. And as much as you are a pain in my ass, I love... excuse me. Sorry, Mrs. Jericho. Karen, I know you're watching. I didn't mean to swear right there. But as much as you are a pain in the butt, it is always interesting when you are a guest during our episodes. And I look forward to having you, as much as it pains me to say it, I look forward to having you on a commentary as a guest with me. It definitely is pretty interesting. Those of you that watched, I appreciate you watching. Like, sub, click that little notifications button. That way, whenever other episodes of The Origins get on, you can see it. Follow our Hybrid Universe show. The next episode, 13, is scheduled for next Thursday, usually around 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you, Mr. Rollison, James Black, Durgos, Sander Cool, James Seal, everyone that participated in the Twitter feed. Thank you all. Get me your name so I can add you to the list. That's it for episode 2 of the Hybrid Origins with CFT. Have a great night, everybody. And make sure if you're going to drink coffee, make sure that it is Black Rifle. And they have these awesome mugs as well that you can drink it from. Have a great rest of your day.